pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora and elsewhere. Friends all. Sometimes I ask myself if my message fall on deaf ears or stupid and ignorant people who don't mean to change. And I have friends from every walks of life, from Africa to India, from China to Europe, from Latin and South America to Caribbean, and many in different words said to me, brother, is your people stupid, dumb, foolish, or just born illiterate and ignorant? It hurt me when I heard that coming from Mother Africa and India, especially where the two major races in Guyana originate from. And I'm a part of both of you. Friends, this is the 21st century. And you, the black man in Guyana, are going back to emancipation. When you was also leader of Guyana and exploit every other race, especially the indigenous people. And if you all deny it, may the Lord bring an end to your generation, because you all do it. You all do it. Now, by saying that, you all might feel offended. Oh, he don't like Africans. He don't like black people. That's not right. I love human beings, not name of cultures or country. Africa is where you originate from. India is where the East Indian came from, or China for the Chinese, and Europe for the white man, as you all just say the white man. Because you all never say European. Okay? But there are difference amongst them, difference amongst all of us. Today, listen what we fight over. We are fighting of slave trade that passed. And we blame the European as the white man, but we forget the Arab. We forget the forced slave owner who enslaved the prophets of God. But sometimes I have to reconsider and say, y'all are not wrong. Because if God is the creation, he should have put those bastards to float between the sky and the earth who've been exploiting his people. Because he has the power. He can do anything he desires, but he allowed it to happen. Then they told us he's testing our faith. Well, if I got my children, I want to test my son's faith, and I throw in a pen of lion. In modern day, they would have jailed me. I could tell the judge anything, because that is cruelty. I throw them in the piranha, and it's the same thing happen. That is totally unfair, my friends. It is natural to say that we are living in the past and in hypocrisy, because we know who done wrong to our ancestors, as you say. But we are not seeing the wrongs that we are doing to people modern day. Let me ask you, the black race in Guyana and the Burnham government. You, the men, policemen, military, minister, and I can give you all straight letter. How many Indian women, Amerindian and y'all didn't fuck to get job? I give you all straight talk. Now, I can be offended with the words, but it's a language, and you all understand that. Because you all are ignorant, stupid, and don't care to change. Now I could say you sex them. No. You have destroyed their image. You bring them down to zero. You do it to your own women and breed them and don't take responsibility. And you talk what the white man do to your ancestor. Friends, let us assume the white man done it crucially the way you all say it. Who benefit from it? You got a country you rule that don't belong to you. Same goes to the East Indian descendant of India. They have a rival. You know why I'm talking like this? I am fed up with the two disease. But amongst it, they have a lot of good ones. Stand up in both race. Decent and honorable. Not miserable, stupid, ignorant, and ready to kill, burn, and loot. In the name of God, I ask all of you, please, for God's sake, keep quiet and shut the F up. Shut up. You all got a country don't belong to you. You all do a lot of wrong. That is why today in Guyana, a lot of young black children are crashing and dying. As much as Indian. The curse of your generation is falling upon your doorstep. You all are not seeing it. In the public hospital, under the black government Burnham, not right. Even President David Granger, how many young Indian mothers that give birth to their children, they die and the children die. Was that a genocide in a quiet way, not to make the populate the nation? I called for an investigation into it. And if I remember my experience in the 1970s at the public hospital with my eldest son, who's an Navy SEAL today. What had happened in public hospital, they were all black people running the show. I was there. I was told the public hospital have the drugs for a disease called gastro, where the children was vomiting and messing. I take my son there. The area that you sit was full of people, plenty Indian and a few blacks. Indian face, blood was running down, their hand was broken, get accident. They had to wait. And a black man or woman walked through the door. Less than 5 minutes, they were giving attendance. I walk in and I see this kind of a thing. I sit peacefully with my son, waiting to see the doctor. I could go to Mercy Hospital, but I was misled by people who say the public hospital have the drugs. It so happened my son was vomiting and messing at the same time. It was horrible to smell around the people. So I get up, I walk. There was a fat black nurse who was taking the notes. She see what happened, and this was a assertion to me. Go and sit down in the back and clean the child mess. I said, but he's vomiting and getting diarrhea. She said, I don't care how many people here, but I see every black people come through. Went to see doctor, but the Indian and other race was sitting. I'm a good observer. I sit there for another 45 minutes, and I get up and walk again to her. She says, if you don't need to sit down, seek another help outside. It so happened, a young man who I know from my village, his last name is Lunk. We were sitting, he called me, he sent me, and the doctor is named Dr. Johnson, a black guy. You know what he said to me? I swear, this was his exact quotation. He said, I can make it easy for you by giving your child a medication that he will not live too long. I grabbed my child and I walked out and I went to Mercy Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, at that time, if I had a gun with me or a bomb, they'd blow the whole fucking place up. I am telling you how y'all treat people, but when people talk, they're bad, they're terrorists. Oh, they don't like black people, or they don't like this other race. I want you to know, it's not we don't like you. We didn't make you, we're supposed to love you, care for you, but you were too ignorant and too racial. You use it against every race. Even in war, soldiers fighting enemy fighting each other. And if a man pull up a flag and he gets shot, you better help your enemy and don't use it against him because of a war. There's rule on the war ground, but there was no rule in Guyana Public Hospital. My experience, I'm not lying. But then again, I grew with black people, honorable, decent, humble, loving, kind, and very devoted. Then I overlooked that. I went away, do my business, travel up and down, and I begged God to give me faith and strength. I see amongst my own family, the Indian don't like the black one, and the black one don't like the Indian one, all because of two bloody disease, Burnham and Jagan. When they used to live in the 40s, uncle and auntie, buddy and sissy. And if a black man beat an Indian child, he or she dare not go home and complain because the mother and father know that man is not illiterate, he's not mad. Had to be a reason. And they will take the child and say, "But they burn it. Brother Thomas, can you tell me what happened?" And they got a belt in their hand. And when the man said in front of the kid, a black man or a black woman talk in front of the Indian kid, why they beat them? The parents asked, "Is that truth?" "Yes," and they whipped their ass again. That was the culture I grew with. A culture of love, unity, a culture where everyone look out for each other until come this disease. Farms, Burnham and Jenny Jagan, that separate y'all. You hear? You could bring the Red Sea when Moses opened up for the people to cross it, come back when they cross, but you could never heal the wound of Indian and black in Guyana unless both of you agree to move the PPP and the PNC out of office and elect a National Front government. Okay? Who's Ramjatan and Nagamutu? They were trained to hate black people in PYO and the PPP. A man said to me he will give me a video Where Ramzatan speak in Burmese, how he speak about the PNC and black people. It's alleged because he give it to me yet. But I want to tell you, between the two major races, you, the black race, is ahead of the game. From 1 to 10, I'll give you 6.5. But from 1 to 10 for the Indian, my dear God, I give them 1.5. Because you don't know who to trust. They laugh and hug you like Judas and sell you to the cross. I see it in my own family. I see it with friends. An Indian believe they could laugh and talk and sweet talk you and turn back and go behind your back and poison you. Friends, if I lie, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. From India to Pakistan, from Afghanistan to Hindustan is the same bloody shit. Y'all are fighting over religion. Hindu don't like Muslim, Muslim don't like Hindu, and each other don't like one another, even the Christian. I call upon you in Guyana. You, the black man in Guyana, are the descendant of the African descendants. You, the Indian in Guyana, are the descendant of India. But you are not Indians. You are the descendant. You are Guyanese, but like you, the black race in Guyana, you are not Africano. Okay? You are Guyanese, but you are the descendant of Africa. And I says Africa, I'm not going to say Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, and Mozambique, and Angola, Africa, because it's a beautiful continent. There are great people in there, but they betray your own. There are great people in India, and y'all are killing them, burning their house, raping their family, because you too lunatic. Your politicians keep y'all down, and they use the imam, the pandit who's a priest, and the English priest to lie to you. Vengeance is Lord, said the Lord. Leave it to him, brother. God can take care of it. But if Jesus is the Son of Allah, as he said, and God, he gave you this message. Do unto others as you would like them do unto you. Well, I want you all to know, you kick man, I'm going to kick your asshole back. You kill man, I'm going to kill yours. I swear to God. But you show me love and respect, we will unite and build the bridge of unity. Because we don't live too long on this earth. God and Lucifer, the devil, is forever and ever. I respect any black and Indian who into marriage. Any Chinese and any black or other Indian race into marriage. The rest is a question mark. You don't have to be a Muslim to marry in a Muslim family. If you are a Muslim and your religion is great, marry a Christian, marry a Hindu, marry a non-believer, so you can bring them into your society and your religion. But you segregate yourself and you want to go to heaven. Well, if God takes some imam that I know, some pandit and priests in heaven, boy, I can wait in hell because I know y'all ain't got 24 hours in heaven. You wicked, treacherous, devious hypocrites. Huh? Today I heard a lot of things. They install government. The Coolie install government. Now, let me tell you, my black brothers, Burnham never win an election. If it wasn't for the Portuguese, y'all would not get independence in a country that belong to you Guyanese. Only the Amerindian. The Amerindian was robbed from the Dutch, the British, and they were brutalized, robbed from the Indian and the black people of today. If any one of you deny that, may the Lord curse your generation, because y'all know it's truth. But y'all telling me what you read, what the white man do to Africa. I don't hear Indian talk about cheap labor. They were slave too, my African brothers. Chinese were slave too, Portuguese were slave. And the Irish was the first slave in Barbados. White people, they were slave in America too. They was not allowed to go to restaurant and certain place. There were bathroom for black people, bathroom for Irish. Are you aware of that? In every country, culture, religion, or race, there's segregation. Because some people believe they're better than one another. But when we're dead, where are we going? Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, had to go to war to set an example because of his own friends and family. Moses had to cross the Red Sea with the hypocrites them, and they couldn't wait on a commandment to build a golden calf. Come on. Then y'all tell me that Haile Selassie is the great-grandson of David, a rapist, a criminal. Well, if he is the great-grandson of David in the Bible, who sent his best friend, the gladiator, to die in the war so he could screw his wife. I don't need a leader like that. Is that your prophet? I now see why the people in Ethiopia got to be running out of Ethiopia all over the world when they were the only country was not conquered. My friends, today we must not look back into history. A friend sent me a video with something I'm going to ask to put on right now. I want to learn and then I'm going to take it from there. Because we are our own brothers, keepers. Learn from this, please. I got 10 minutes.
You there, second desk, blue jacket. What is your name?
My name is Alexis.
Alexis, please leave my lecture room. I don't want to see you at one of my lectures ever again.
I don't understand.
I am not going to ask a second time. Thank you. Why are there laws? What are laws for? Anyone?
Social order?
To protect the person's personal rights.
So that you can rely on the government?
Justice? Thank you. Tell me, was I unfair to your classmate just now? Indeed I was. So, why didn't any of you protest? Why didn't any of you try and stop me? Why didn't you want to prevent this injustice? You see, what you have just learnt, you wouldn't have understood in 1,000 hours of lectures unless you lived it. You didn't say anything because you weren't affected yourself. And this attitude speaks against you and against life. You think it doesn't concern you, so it's none of your business. Well, I'm here to say, if you don't help bring about justice, then one day you too may experience injustice, and there will be nobody there to stand before you. Truth and justice lives through us all, and we must fight for it. Because in life and work, I mean, we often live next to each other, but not with each other. We console ourselves that the problems of others are nothing to do with us, none of our business. And we go home glad at night that we're spared, but it's about standing up for each other. Every day an injustice happens in business, sport, or on the tram. Relying on someone else to take care of it is not good enough. It is our duty to be there for others, to speak up for others when they cannot. I am here to teach you the power of your voice. I want you to learn critical thinking to empower you to stand up for what is right, even if it means going against what everyone else is doing. Let's begin.
Yes, friends. That video that you have just looked upon, I do hope that you learned something from it. That video was sent to me from Trinidad and Port Spain, from an Indian descendant like you all in Guyana, who came out from India in ancestor link. Sometime might be your family or mine, who knows, because they scatter us around. Now, by saying that, in Trinidad, he looks at my video, and he sent me that So I decide to share it in honor of him to show that he's one who making a difference. And I do hope y'all learn something there. What that professor has done, he has shown an example that if I sit down and allow somebody killing somebody without doing something, I'm a part of the killing. Because will come a time when the killing mine, nobody gonna do nothing. We are our brother's keeper. We must defend what is right even if it costs our life. Because we allow the wickedness to go forward because we scared for our life, but we can die. Ladies and gentlemen in Guyana, I'm going to tell you here today, if you hurt me, there's only so far I can go, but if you continue, I wouldn't leave you to God. I'm going to send you to meet him halfway and your generation, because you can't rob me the time that Allah, Bhagwan and God put me on earth and use religion and race to identify yourself that you are so righteous. I would burn your temple. I'm telling you here today, because enough is enough. You hear? Only fools would wait on God. When the prophet Moses went to war, Muhammad the messenger went to war, then who am I to sit down to allow you to overrun me and my family? Once I don't thief on you, lie on you, do you wrong, have nothing to do with me. But you ain't gonna do it to me and you keep forgiving me, you keep on doing it, and you look at me and lie and lock me up. Judges, magistrate, prosecutor, police, who lock up innocent people. The time is coming when you're all going to answer. So the two disease is politician and preacher, the corrupt ones. There's good Indian, there's good blacks, there's good Portuguese, there's good Chinese, there are good other races around the world are European. But today, 70% of the black race, the white man, the white man, the white man. 90% of the Guyanese Indian, the black man, and 83% of the black people, the coolie man, the coolie man. Well, a coolie is a laborer. A black man is darkness because there is no such thing as a black man, nor a black race. We turn our human brothers and sisters into color and nationality. Okay? I want you all to understand there is one God. Whether you call him Allah, Bhagwan, or God, and it's one world. I am looking today and I saw a young woman expose the African story and who they're joining with. And a friend from Guyana sent me a clipping where the European burned the books of the African thing in the past. I don't know where he get it from, it's not his fault. Because those books that burned there, those kind of books was not on earth until the 18th century. Because 100,000 years ago, they were writing on paper, thick cow skin, not paper, because there was no such thing as paper. China is what discovered paper. AD, 100 years AD. Find out what AD means. Okay? And therefore, before we push nonsense to corrupt people, get your facts together. Chinese are the one who bring about papers. Okay, friends? But it's not your mistake. And when those books was burned, I agree that they robbed the wealthy jewels that was put. And there were no such thing as museum in Africa and India in those days. It was the emperors and the king had it in the house. The entourage was no such thing. It was, museum was built by the European to keep art effect for the other generation to learn. So when you're talking, speak with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Don't talk what you hear and what you read. And historian write 10 or 11% truth and all the rest is corrupt. Corrupt. And therefore, same as America, every black in America who's not intelligent enough. We had a black president in America. Well, I'm going to tell you something here. If you had a black president in America and he was blacker than Abraham Lincoln, something wrong. Because unto this day, I'm living in America, a great country. They got their fault, don't get me wrong. But unto this day, there is no such thing as a black president. Live in the White House, rule this country. He was a mixed race. You cannot call a tiger a lion. You can't call a zebra a donkey. So get your act together. And why it always have to be a racial issue? Come on. A young Indian guy was working in the White House from Queens as a cook when Trump was elected. It was all on the Indian paper in Queens. If I was Trump and I decided I'd get ready quick because he didn't have a right to disclose that. Working with Trump or working with Biden or working with Kennedy, I don't see that give him a step up in front of everybody. If you're a cook, you're a cook. If you're a waitress, you're a regardless who you work for. Did you see them black people who they work with Queen Elizabeth from Guyana in the palace? You hear any one of them name? I know two of them. You don't hear about it. They are not like you Indian who want to show what you got. You have a certificate, subject, you make it so big that the house can't hold it for people to see who you are. You're nothing but a piece of garbage, man. Do you know what certificate I have? The birth certificate and the baptism one. You think of the rest. But anyone that you want to challenge on your Quran, your Bible, and the Ramayana, invite me. Anyone who wants to challenge on your maths, invite me. I play a stupid game to see who's brighter than me. But the more educated you Indian get, you segregate yourself and take advantage on your own Indian and other races. And you think you're better than them. You treat your servant like shit. You insult and humiliate the poor. And you're telling me you're going to heaven? Man, I don't think Satan needs you in hell neither, man, because he wants to control not you Indians. And you illiterate black people, why are you getting into the mayhem before you unite? Take care of your children. Build a nice house. So when you pass on, they continue your journey, man. Why? There is more better black people in Guyana out of 200-something thousand than Indian. But I got a message to the magistrate, the judge, the prosecuting police, and Ramjatan and Nagamutu and the rest. And I'm calling on the President Ali to investigate what I'm talking about. But it looks like all of them are together. Everything my son was accused of was done by Indian businessmen and an Indian corrupt man named Harsmanas Ramdat. You hear? And his wife Shamin Mohammed, who have contact in the courthouse to make them lock up my son and beat him. And I tell y'all something, y'all better drink poison. We just forgive, but we don't forget. But there will come a time, death might be the salvation to all of us. Okay, you can take it or you like it, it's not a threat. Ask Japan what America do to them when they try to annihilate Pearl Harbor. America get on the first bomb, they still want to fight, get in second to surrender. You Indian, the disease of Guyana, wake up, there's a cure. It's called peace, love, and unity. You ignorant black people, unite and save your generation and open up the doors with the Indian and let's unite, give an Amerindia in this country and let's form a national front government. Open up the door to Mother Africa, India, and the Caribbean for those who were with us. And let's worship God, unite and intermarriage and make God world a good place how long we are in it. But do not pay attention to political party and corrupt ministers in government or as a pastor. So for all of you, my heart goes out to you. My tears run until it cannot run no more. Because what is yet to come in a couple of months in Guyana, you all won't like it. And Mr. Ali is doing better than everybody that we had before, but it's spread out. But plenty corruption, and guess what? Plenty square pegs in wrong hole, Ali. All right? Don't try to be the king and close your eyes on what you're seeing and deaf your ears for what you're hearing. Do something about it. Change the Constitution. And may the good Lord be with all of you. Unite for a national front, and every citizen will have a piece of land and money to build your house. And we will defend Guyana. Have a good day.